When you think of villains, who do you think of? Do you think of Vilgax from Ben 10, the Joker from the Batman DC universe, Loki, Thanos? You can think of all those, but there's one villain that comes to mind when I think of big bads. And that villain is going to be what I'm reviewing today. Today, we're taking a look at Transformers Dark of the Moon Legends Class Megatron. This is Megatron's only Earth form in the Michael Bay universe, as he is a Mack truck, and I think that for a Legends figure, they actually got his on-screen representation pretty well done. I love the amount of detail that went into this figure. I mean, very nice Decepticon logo right there, pretty cleanly printed. And you have Mack right there in the front. Paint apps, for a Legends figure, I could see a little bit more maybe. He's mainly this brown grayish color. That's a little boring, but what are you going to do? It's a Legends figure that's Megatron. He's usually gray. You have these dark gray smokestacks and these wheels that don't roll very well. Unless, you try and actually roll them, which he rolls decently. He has this giant silver tanker, which you can actually remove. We'll get to this in a second. Well, you have your pretty basic vehicle mode. What I like is that here you can see that one of his windows is actually popped out, and I believe that that is like a little representation of that one of his eyes is messed up. I'm not entirely sure why they did that, but what are you gonna do? For a size comparison, again with random size comparisons, here's Megatron and here's a one of those little Tsum Tsum things. This is the Ewok Star Wars. These are pretty tiny. They fit in the palm of my hand, so it fits pretty well in terms of the Legends figure. But let's get into the transformation. So the first thing that you want to do is essentially detach the back and then extend the legs like so. You can then close down the feet, split the legs, then rotate the bottom half of the legs 180 degrees. And his legs are done. Next thing you want to do is essentially split the front of the truck open. To do that, you want to flip these arms down and then kind of ease these bits out like so. And then simply close that, and there you have Megatron in his robot mode, and pretty good robot mode, if I do have to say so myself. His lankiness is what gave him a very different form of look, because we just saw him as like this big beefy alien robot, and then he got the Earth mode, and he's still menacing, it's just he's a little weaker, but he's still Megatron. Now, I did mention his little tank. This actually turns into his weapons. See, you split this, you take this little tab right here, and you simply turn it that way, and flip out his little guns. And here you have like these two little shotguns or blasters. Now you can recombine this, and I guess he can hold it somehow, in some way. I'm not entirely sure, but I just prefer to have the two halves here, and those just plug into his hand through little ports and go into his very tiny bony hands. Articulation wise, it's a Legends figure, so you're not going to get much out of it. There's no articulation at the head. Your arms can go full 360 and they can come off. But they can go out a little bit. You have a ball joint at the elbow, as well as kind of like this double joint here. No wrist articulation. No waist articulation. Let's get these arms out of the way. He has a ball joint at the hip, which allows for a decent spread. Can move forward and back that far, and he is a cheerleader. He has a bend at the knee and a rotation at the knee, and no foot articulation. So overall, it's a pretty decent figure in terms of what Legends class is. I mean, Legends used to be really good. I mean, the Revenge of the Fallen Legends figures were pretty good. Dark of the Moon was pretty good. Then we got the Age of Extinction and the Last Night, and they just became rehashes. Like, honestly, they released a Barricade Legends figure for the Last Night. That's just a repaint of Knockout from Prime. Same face sculpt and everything. But I'm going to give this a solid 8 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed this figure. If only had a little bit more paint apps, it would have been a little bit better. But this has been the Transformers Dark of the Moon Legends class Megatron from Hasbro, and I'll see you later.